Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Therapy Thursday. How are you doing today? Welcome to Transforming Trauma podcast with Dr. Triffy. Who am I? I am a licensed psychologist in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also an advanced clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. Now, I love to lead by saying I speak with a bit of a lovely accent. Yes, it is lovely because I come from the lovely, beautiful, magnificent island of Dominica in the Caribbean. Dominica is not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. We love them, but they are further north and they border Haiti. They're closer to Puerto Rico. We are further south. We are between Martinique and Guadeloupe. Okay. I live and work in Atlanta. And every Thursday, about this time, I show up to use trending topics and psychology or just topics of interest to the people who listen to me to talk about how we can transform trauma into passion, into purpose, and into power, sometimes even into profit. Okay? Tonight's topic is how to hypnotize yourself, essentially. How to use self-hypnosis. Practical ways to use hypnosis to create the life you say you want, but you've been struggling to create it, or you've been struggling to maintain it. You create it, but it doesn't last, it falls apart, and you're not sure what's happening. Why is this happening to me? You're frustrated, you're tired, you're exhausted. You've perhaps given up. So I want to introduce you to hypnosis, and not just hypnosis, but how to hypnotize yourself. Okay? All right. So if you want to learn more about what I do, you can go to my website, drtriffy.com. How do you spell Dr. Triffy? I like to say I'm a whole sorority by myself. Tri-Phi. Triphi. Okay? That's how you spell Triffy. Go there now. I train hypnotherapists. I train mental health professionals to use hypnotherapy as an adjunct in their practices. I use hypnotherapy with my clients, and I'm hoping that you gain enough information tonight that you explore hypnotherapy, hypnosis yourself. All right, y'all. So story time. Story time. When I was 29 years old, I worked at the University of Mississippi as their staff counselor at the University Counseling Center. And one day, a flyer came through advertising a continuing education training, teaching how to become a hypnotherapist. Well, of course, it's an of course for me because I've always had interest in learning alternative ways to do therapy. If it's ethical and it works, I say use it. And so about 4 or 5 of us from the counseling center left Ole Miss and went to New Orleans to train with Diane Zimberoff and the Wellness Institute. They're in Issaquah, Washington. So if you want to look them up. If you're a healer and you want to train. I say this to start because I have few other words to describe the experience except to say that it was life-changing for me as an individual, but also as a therapist. Okay? Because I learned the power of the minds. I said minds. Because we have different minds. Okay? Tonight we're talking about 2 minds, and you will understand how to work with those 2 minds. There are more, but we're talking about 2. Okay? This session tonight is for people who have the patience to sit and invest time into themselves. It's not for the lazy folks. Like, we live in a stage of our human evolution where we're quickly distracted, and tonight is not for you. Tonight is not for you if you're not interested in creating the life you want. Tonight is not for you if life is perfect and you've got it under control. You don't need any extra information. Keep scrolling. Okay? But if you're ready to learn, sit, get quiet, get a drink, get a pen, get paper, and let's talk. Okay? So let's start here. What I learned as a hypnotherapist almost 25 years ago is that, yes, we have many minds. And I learned the power of those minds. And I set about on a journey individually, as I said, and as a practitioner to use the tool, to use the skill to change my life and to help clients change their lives. Okay, let's start with 2 minds. That's how I'm calling them, right? The first mind is your conscious mind. Conscious mind, that's the mind that is listening to me right now, that is perceiving the present, that perhaps went to get a pen and paper, okay, that perhaps turned up the volume to listen better. Yes? Okay. And then we're talking also about your subconscious mind. Your mind, the part of the mind that is beneath the conscious mind. Now that subconscious mind of yours, you must understand that part of your mind. You must. That is the part of your mind that was essentially downloaded into you in the first 7 or so years of your life. This is the part of your mind. Let's call it the mind. This is that mind where your programming is. But it is beneath your conscious mind, your daily waking mind, where you have to pay attention to where you're going, or else you're going to run into a wall. Where you got to pay attention to paying your bills, where you're focusing on what you're wearing today. That's conscious mind. But that subconscious mind is where your programming is. So whether or not you are aware of your subconscious mind, it is driving your conscious choices and your conscious activities. Okay? Now I'm going to, as we talk tonight, offer you several resources. So you go educate yourself. So you go sit and download additional information. Okay? I'm going to send out the first name. The first name is Bruce, Bruce Lipton, Lipton. Bruce Lipton shares an interesting idea. He says, who is he? He's a researcher extraordinaire who spent a lot of time studying the way our cells react, studying how our thoughts react, studying how the mind works. Go look him up. We're not talking about him tonight, but you want to have the name, okay? He says that 95% of the time, most of us, we're really not paying much attention. We're not really very focused on many of these goals that we say we want to accomplish. Why? Again, because you're trying to make sure you don't trip and fall. You're trying to take care of the very pressing needs that are typically right in front of your face. Okay? And so because we are not highly focused and attentive in our conscious mind, because we are not always very present and here, as in, this is what I'm creating now. Yes. And so this is the next step and the next step and the next step. What happens is Our thinking is being controlled instead by our subconscious mind. Now remember that subconscious mind was downloaded into you by other people when you were a kid, a helpless child, and who knows what's in there. What could be in there? A lot of fear. A lot of worry about whether or not you're strong enough, whether or not you're competent enough. If, say, in the first 7 years of your life, you were molested, which is the story and the reality for many people, you were taken advantage of, you were neglected emotionally, physically, spiritually. If you saw your father maybe hit your mother, if you saw the community do whatever, first 7 years of your life, that is what you have programmed in your subconscious mind. Now, of course, you might have very positive things also programmed in your subconscious mind. So perhaps in the first 7 years of your life, you grew up in a family where all your needs were met. Money was easy to come by. It seemed like life was very kind and fair. People around you were very supportive. They encouraged you to do things. That's going to be your subconscious programming. Unfortunately, for us human beings, very unfortunately, Dr. Lipton says that about 70% or more of our subconscious programming is horrible, not ideal. And that in our subconscious programming, we learned lessons, we learned things that make us quick to sabotage ourselves, quick to down ourselves, quick to go towards very limiting beliefs where we think, even if we have the beautiful ideas about what we want to create, our fears show up, our anxiety, our worry, our self-doubt shows up. We're afraid to try new things. Why? Why do you think you as an adult might be afraid to try new things? Why do you think that might be in your subconscious mind? Look at how we teach our kids. Don't touch this. Leave this alone. You didn't do it right. You got too many wrong. Yeah? So we come by that subconscious programming, again, not through any fault of our own. And I don't like to blame parents because I think for the most part, people are doing the best they can. The fact is, it is what it is. Your subconscious programming, the way it is right now, is what it is. Until you decide to do life in a different way. So what can you do? Okay. How can you heal your conscious mind? One way, right? There's so many ways. I'm offering you one way tonight to heal your conscious mind. Remember, your conscious mind is that awake, present, focused, thinking, everyday mind. But that same mind that is often not paying deep attention to the goals and the dreams you have when you're thinking about it at 2:00 in the morning. So how can you work with that? You become radically present and mindful. You become focused on living here and living now. You become radically honest with your reality, with what's in front of you, as opposed to your fantasies. You focus on your senses. You focus on presence. You focus on being compassionate towards yourself because it is what it is right now. You take right action. You do the best you can with what you have right now. You walk in integrity. What I do over here is what I will do over there, is what I will do over there. If something is right over here, yeah, more than likely it's the same principle. I'm using it over there too. If this principle is wrong over there, more than likely I'm applying it over here too. So I'm being very present. You're using your breath. You're using sounds like this to become very present. You're focusing on your 5 senses. What am I seeing? Very realistic. This is my reality. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What did I just hear in this conversation? Not what I think I heard, but what I really heard. I'm cleaning up my language. I'm cleaning up my talk. I'm feeling my feelings, but I'm not using my feelings to just generalize to make my feelings know reality. I'm being very honest. Yeah? Now, here's the offering for how to deal and how to heal your subconscious mind. And this is where learning how to hypnotize yourself comes in. Because again, unless you address what's downloaded into your subconscious mind, you're going to be getting results in your conscious reality day to day that do not match up with your dreams and your wishes. Unless you know what you have, call it the basement, part of your mind. Unless you know what's in there and what you need to clean up, to bring upstairs, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So, what is your responsibility? What is your task as an adult who is going back to rescue, to help, to save the 7-year-old? Remembering that from 0 to 7, that's where the programming comes into your subconscious mind. It's like the engine. So you, adult, you go back to reprogram that subconscious mind. It is what it is. It's like a frozen thing. I mean, it's like a template. It is what it is. So you can't erase it. You can't erase your history. You can't negate the fact that you grew up in the home you grew up in the community you grew up in the church you grew up in, and these were the programs you got planted on who you are as a human being, as a child, right? What you do is you go back to reprogram. Or one can also say to put in a new program. To put in a new program that hopefully you begin to use so much that you forget that old programming, or you kind of put it on a kind of pause. You know, like in the Caribbean, we grew up with shortcuts. And mentally, when I think about this, I think about it like I used to pass through this shortcut for all of my life. And then they created a new shortcut. And what happens to the old shortcut when you start using the new one? Well, the new one becomes very clear, easy to run and walk through. But pretty soon, the old one, it becomes impassable, doesn't it? Because the bush starts to grow over there, the weeds, the branches, everything, and it becomes condemned. And so you don't need to use that shortcut anymore because you created a new shortcut that you now intentionally keep using to create the life you want. But now you will have put new programming on it. How can you do that? hypnosis. Okay? There are many other ways like affirmations. Yeah? Repetition, 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 repetition. Huh? But I want you to know that if you're doing this, if you're trying to change your subconscious mind using your conscious mind, you're going to be struggling. And I will help you understand that perhaps you're feeling so frustrated because that's the approach you've been trying to use. You say stuff like, I'm not smoking anymore. Right? I'm not doing this terrible thing anymore. I'm different now. I'm different now. I save all my money. I make all my money and I save all my money. I know what to do. And you're doing it from that conscious mind. No, you have to find a way, find a tool to access your subconscious mind, because that's where you uploaded the program or downloaded the program, however you want to look at it. Okay? So how do you do that? How do you do that? You find a hypnotherapist. There are many hypnotherapists, right? For many of you, you will need extra support because there are some, call them ideas, call them belief systems, just call it programming in general. There is some programming that is so challenging to delete, put in the recycle bin, that you need professional help. But you can start today yourself, alone. Here's your second resource. Go to YouTube. And I have suggested this program before. Why? Because once I began to understand the power of the minds, and I realized, hey, I can hypnotize myself. I can do this. I can add a new program into this subconscious mind of mine by dropping down mentally from a state of conscious mind awareness to subconscious mind awareness. How do you do that? By getting relaxed, getting into a state of relaxation. It does not have to be a deep state of relaxation, but you relax yourself, and you begin to now listen over and over and over again to a new program. So the new resource is go to YouTube, like I found myself doing. I'm suggesting, I'm inviting you. If you want to, I will share what I did in my 30s to reprogram my subconscious mind. I went to YouTube, and just as I was falling asleep every night, as I was about to hit what is called the theta state of awareness. Theta state is the state that you get into when you've been meditating, or again when you're just about to fall off into sleep. And I began to use my headphones, plug them into my phone, and listen to meditations. The person that I used was Kelly Howell, and I cannot begin to tell you how many times I listened to one of her meditations called the Universal Mind Meditation. I cannot begin to tell you how transformative that was for me. For me. Now, I like to say that I don't share information publicly like this, except if it's research-based or if it's something that I use myself and I found value in. I don't know what the research is on that particular meditation. What I do know as a practitioner of brain spotting is a way to I'm looking for my wand. It's a way to help the brain get into regulation. And it uses binaural beats and binaural stimulation. Yeah? Left brain, right brain, to bring them into synchronicity, to bring them into a state of balance. And I do know that Kelly Howell's recordings use that musical technology. I do know for myself that when I coupled that with mindfulness meditation, which I described earlier, when I coupled that self-hypnosis with mindfulness meditation, where every day, regardless of how horrible I felt the pain of it, I breathed through it, and I kept moving, kept doing. If I was washing dishes, I would focus intently on just the physical act of washing dishes. If I was driving, I would try to be very focused on feeling the steering wheel, on seeing what was around me, focusing on my present moment. So that's how you can be practicing mindfulness. Very focused, very intentionally. Yeah. I would do that during the day because, like I say, we got to go around, you got to go to work. You have to feed the kids. You have to be with the kids. You have to bathe the kids. You have to clean the house. So you use mindfulness in your waking moments, and you're paying attention to your present. You're practicing compassion towards yourself because you're healing from programming in your subconscious that might have been very harsh or very critical. You know your story. You know it is your responsibility to find out. So I'm inviting you to take some time, spend some time there. 0 to 7. What was happening with me? What was going on? Where was I? Who was there with me? What did I experience then? How might this be impacting me now? Is this showing up right now for me as a 50-year-old? And start by healing your conscious mind with mindfulness, mindful presence, mindful awareness, mindfulness meditation, and self-hypnosis. Listen, get your phone. This phone can cause a lot of havoc, but it can also cause a lot of healing. Yeah? Go to YouTube if you want. That's what I did in my 30s to heal my child, heal the child in me that was carrying a lot of beliefs that were not helping me succeed in areas that I wanted to see more success. Okay? So that's it. How does hypnosis work? Again, hypnosis works. Back in the day, the practitioners would do this. So stereotypically, they do that, right? You'll see a picture when people talk about hypnosis, like, oh, you are very sleepy now. That's the way they did it back then, to slow down your brain from the waking, oh, let me go pay my bills mind, yeah, to a more relaxed, okay, calm down. Maybe almost sleepy, but not really sleepy. That theta state between I'm awake and I'm falling asleep. So it's perfect. It was perfect for me to use the meditations on whatever it is I was trying to create. If I was trying to lose weight, if I was trying to sharpen my relationships, if I was trying to clear up old ideas I had about money, which many of us do have. Yeah. I would find a meditation that worked for me. And when I was falling asleep, I do it today. I still do it. I still do it. I've done it a whole lot over the past year and a half, because I've been recovering from life. So earlier I talked about the shortcut analogy, right? Where your subconscious mind, the old programming you got from 0 to 7, you can decide to create a new shortcut. Decide to create a new shortcut. And then that old shortcut from your 0 to 7 programming is going to just turn back into the forest, right? But you want to know something? Stress and trauma can catapult you out of the new shortcut you were using. And you can sometimes find yourself, even after you've learned and you've downloaded new programming into your subconscious mind as an adult, you can find yourself returning back to the old way when you're under a lot of stress. You're more likely to do that. And because you're a human being and you don't know what's coming at you in life, you must understand and be willing to start cutting down the bush if you find yourself trapped again in the old shortcut. And perhaps you have to create a brand new one. Or you can go back to the one that you had created, say, however many years ago, that used to work for you. But a tool is to use self-hypnosis. Whatever it is you want to become better in, whatever it is you need to heal, your mind is so powerful, but you have to know how to use it. So I'm telling you tonight to heal your conscious mind, to get the results you're looking for. Practice mindfulness, mindful awareness. I am here now. This is the situation that's in front of me now. I have 200 other things to do, but I'm doing this with you now. So except if there's a huge crisis, I'm completely focused on how I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, what I'm hearing, what I'm touching. Here now. Okay? Particularly when it comes to your emotional states. Practice feeling what you feel without judging yourself. Just feeling, just observing, just noticing, that's what I'm feeling. Identify it. Do you even know what you're feeling? Identify it. Give it a name. Investigate it. What is this? Why did this show up? What's happening with me this morning? I feel this thing in my stomach. What is going on? Just notice it and try to describe it. Become aware of it. Breathe through it. Do what you know to do to get relief from it. In the moment. Yeah? In the moment. But then, after you've done your day in your conscious mind, and you've come to nighttime where it's time to sleep, that little window right before you fall asleep. You know you're tired, your body is ready to rest. Your mind is going to be dropping into your subconscious mind. It is the perfect time to listen to a meditation that is over and over and over and over again, guiding you into new programming that supports what you are creating. You heard me say what you are creating versus what you want to create. You got to clean up your language. I am creating. I am doing versus I am trying or I want to. I am whatever. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am healed. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Even if you're not yet that in your present reality, you must act as if. You must begin to act as if. You must fake it until you make it. You must act as if. That's how you do it. You repeat, but particularly in a state of awareness where you are not wide awake and you're not so fast asleep. No, you might fall asleep after you put the headphones in. That's all right. That imprinting will do its thing. Have you noticed sometimes that you went to sleep and there was a movie on, and the movie was very, there was shooting, there was fighting in the movie. Have you realized sometimes that your dream includes people fighting? Almost as if you were in the movie. All that was happening was the programming, right? The sounds from the TV that were getting into your subconscious. So what if you did that on purpose? What if you began to download into your subconscious mind, which I'm telling you, that is what's driving you. What if you did that on purpose? Whatever it is you're trying to create. And when you're done with one, go to the next. I am more confident. I am confident. I am loved. I am wealthy. I am strong. That's how you do that. Now, if this is very simple information when you hear it, many of you are like, man, I know this. Well, I'm going to say, for those of us from Dominica, I know we're very strong in our faith. Many of you are. Well, if you are very strong in your faith, you know that there's a part in the Bible that says, Jesus says, he said to the disciples, a lot of you guys, hey, you need to understand that greater works than me, greater works than what you see me doing, all the great things you've seen me do, loaves and fishes, walking on water, Lazarus come forth, greater works than me will you do, can you do, but you don't believe. So you need to approach this reprogramming of your subconscious mind from a posture of believing, even if you have not yet seen it. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? I will say that there is a fear of the unknown. There is a certain fear, like that idea that, hey, I don't really know that word. What does that mean, hypnosis? What's going to enter my mind? what you intend to enter your mind is what's going to enter into your mind. Are you a weakling? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is this? There are many people who have spent a lot of time, I believe, dissuading you from creating success by telling you stories about tools they themselves use. And so you have to decide for yourself. You have to decide for yourself. You have to decide for yourself. Okay? So, what I will say to you is that I have used these strategies just because that's the work I do and because I've had to learn it to teach the clients. And I've not been disappointed. I've not been disappointed. And I know when life comes and the stress and the trauma comes, the parts that we have very little control over, when they come and they bounce you out of your state of equilibrium, if you know what to do to bring yourself back online, you know what to do to bring yourself back online. It's going to work because it must work, because that's how it works. It's not going to work for that person and not work for you, because that's not how it works, right? It doesn't love that person and not like you. That's not how it works. Okay? So, if you're ready to create the life you want, every night, now there is some research that suggests that to learn a new way, to learn a new habit, to learn a new system, yes, we must practice. Yes, we must practice it. When we're practicing it, we've got to be focused, paying attention, setting intentions, right? But you want to give yourself at least 60 to 66 days of practice if you want to create a new shortcut in your mental programming, right? So that it's clear enough that you can abandon the old one, that you really got poured into you again from 0 to 7, that you did not have much to say about it, and that a lot of it is no longer working for you. It might have worked for you when you were a child, but now that you're an adult, it's not working anymore. How do you know it's not working? You're not seeing the results that you're intending. Okay? So, this is my offering for the night. This is my offering for the night. We have more than one mind. We have a conscious mind, which is our waking mind, or I'm here with you, our thoughts mind. We also have a subconscious mind beneath that basically gets programmed into us from 0 to 7. And many of us are stuck there because we're using programming. It's like an iPhone. We're using iPhone 2 when this is a world of iPhone 14, 15. It's not giving the results that you need in this day and age. So you're seeing a lot of failure in your life. And you're experiencing a lot of pain. That's happening because your subconscious programming, same way it is for most of us on the planet, it's full of limiting beliefs. It's full of self-sabotaging. Self-sabotage is something like you want to lose weight, you say, but you cannot resist the chocolate. You tell yourself you can't resist the chocolate. You want to create a happy, healthy, married relationship for yourself, but you say yes to dating somebody who is already with somebody else. And you wish and you hope and you go into a kind of a child fantasy state where you're like, oh, I wish, or if I just love them hard enough, they're going to leave that person, right? That's subconscious programming, self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs, ideas, and choices. And so when you see that in yourself, which again, like I say, most of us, that's our story. And the details of our stories are unique and different. Once you see it, once you see where you're having trouble, be brutally honest with yourself, be present, acknowledge it, and then start putting in a new program, a new template in your subconscious mind. Create a new shortcut. And how you do that is self-hypnosis. When you do that is in a state of relaxation. The best time for most of us is right as we're falling asleep. A very efficient tool then is to use your phone, headphones. If you continue on into deep sleep while you're doing the meditation, that's okay. Do it for how long? 62 to 66 days. At least. Let me tell you, like I say, I've been doing this since my 30s, since I learned these processes. And when life comes and I have to go back, I go back. So, if you want to learn more about Dr. Triffitt, go to my website, drtriffitt.com. Buy my book. Do it now. Yeah, I have the book here because I was going to share a story with you guys from my stepdad. So my stepdad is Whoop. Those people who are from my village in Dominica, they know that. So Whoop had a thing where he would talk about habits. And many of you heard that phrase from your parents, right? So he would say, habit easy to form, but hard to break. And I do this because this was he would walk off with his finger in the air. Habits easy to form, but hard to break. He wouldn't keep yelling and fussing at you, but he would see you doing the nonsense, and he would, habit easy to form, but hard to break. And you would have to make the call as to whether or not you kept on with that behavior. But he's correct. He's correct. But you can use it for yourself in a positive way. He was using that to tell us, don't do silly stuff, right? Don't form silly habits. But you can intentionally form positive habits because they will also be hard to break. They will also be hard to break. So what new habit, what new template, what new programming do you want to download into your subconscious to create new habits with? So you can create the outcome that you want. Let me tell you also that you are worthy of. Why are you worthy of it? Because you exist and you have equal access to universal success and abundance as anybody else on the planet, as Jeff Bezos, as all the people with all the money. You have just as much a right to it. They're using principles and formulas that you are not aware of, like I'm telling you tonight. They're using these mental strategies to keep going. And if you want to see change in your life, you can use these strategies too. Okay? So thank you all for showing up tonight. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Abundance is your divine right. It's mine too. I suggest we make it happen together. All right? They say if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone, right? If you alone want to succeed, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So I hope you come with me. Let's go create success as we see it, as we visualize it, as is all right. understanding that there's so much abundance. There's so much abundance in the universe. There's so much abundance in the universe. And we have every right to just pluck it, just grab it, to just take it, okay? But with everything comes reciprocity. So that means we have to put in the work as well. We have to change certain mindsets. We have to correct some things that are out of order so we can see the results we say we want to create. All right, that's it. You're very welcome, and you're very welcome. Peace. We will talk another time. In Creole in Dominica, we say, nous que parlons l'autre fois. Au revoir.